Thing here, biblical success coach. I help entrepreneurs get unstuck, achieve quantum leaps, and succeed with fulfillment. Today, we're going through a Bible study called Can You Think and Grow Rich Biblically? We are looking at the best-selling personal growth book of Think and Grow Rich. This has sold hundreds of millions of copies, I believe. But we're asking the question, can we think and grow rich biblically? So this, while it looks like a Bible, is not the Bible. So how do these go hand in hand together? And what principles can we draw from them? And today we're going through chapter 7 of Think and Grow Rich, which is organized planning. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, be sure to follow, be sure to share, and also subscribe to our YouTube. On our YouTube, we actually put all of these on replay and all the previous ones as well too, and everything. And I'd love to hear in your comments below what you think about this topic as we go through it together. So let me go through this through organized planning. This is what the chapter says. So Think and Grow Rich goes through methodically a success principle on what to do. And it starts with a burning desire. When you have a burning desire, then it goes to faith and then imagination. And after imagination, it's important. Hey, Tom, great to see you, brother. Good morning. Thanks for chiming in, man. I love you as well, too. From there, it's plans. Plans are super important. In fact, it says right here to do 6 practical steps. They actually give you a plan. So one of the steps is the formation of definite practical plans or plans through which your transformation is going to be able to be made. And it talks a lot about masterminds. It talks a lot about alliances and everything. So biblically, I don't know if you feel this way or not. Good morning, Lily. But is it wise to plan? What's up, NorCal? Hey, what's going on? I'm there as well too. If you're someone that's faith-based, then perhaps you've had these questions before. If God is sovereign and God is in charge, do I need a plan? Is it even biblically wise to plan? Right? Like, what does this whole planning do? If God's already got it down, do I need to do anything, or do I just let God do what he does best? So it's important that we look at this idea of planning, because if you want to succeed in life, then we have to understand this delicate balance here. So can you plan biblically? Yes. In fact, Jesus says in Luke 14:28, let's go through this one together. Luke 14:28, he says, for which one of you, when he wants to build a tower, does not first sit down and calculate the cost to see if he has enough to complete it? So it's very evident that it's important that if you want to succeed, if you have an idea, if you have a dream, you must plan it, right? It's kind of like if you're driving somewhere, you want to map out how far it is. You want to map out how much gas that you need. So planning is not only wise, planning is biblical. I mean, Jesus himself says you should plan things out. So with your goal, with your desire, with your dream, you got to plan it out. Have the dream, but don't just be stuck in the dream. You have to also be able to sit down, start to map out strategies, start to map out different types of things. However, I believe this is what's interesting about the faith-based entrepreneur, is that yes, we have our plans, but we also want to make sure that we seek counsel. It says in Think and Grow Rich, ally yourself with a group of people, ally yourself with a mastermind, and that is very, very important. In fact, in Proverbs 15:22, it actually, this principle is so powerful that it doesn't just occur once in Proverbs, that it occurs twice. So in Proverbs 15:22, Solomon, who is the wealthiest person of all generations. In fact, if you look at Solomon and you scaled his income to be where it is now, his net worth, did you know Solomon would have been a multi-trillionaire? So this guy did real, real well as a king. This guy did real, real well in business. He kind of knows what he's talking about, right? Good person to be able to study. So he says in Proverbs 15:22, without consultation, plans are frustrated, but with many counselors, they succeed. So it's also a principle when you plan, don't only make a plan that you think is right yourself, but make plans and submit them to guidance from others. It's very wise to get support from others. It's very wise to get second opinions, third opinions, fourth opinions. You've probably noticed this before. Maybe you've had a health diagnosis before. Here's an interesting but kind of sad stat. Did you know that as well-meaning as health professionals are, that up to 80% of the first diagnoses for a health professional are different from the second opinion? Did you know that? You can go to the most well-trained doctors, but if you get a second opinion, 80%, that means 4 to 5 times the second opinion is going to be different from the first. So what does that mean? It means that even the smartest people in the world, even if you're the most successful person in the world, we only know what we know. So it's important to submit our plans by counsel, by wise people. So this could be a partner, this could be a mentor, this could be a coach, this could be a friend. Just don't go talk about it with your negative friend that hasn't achieved success. That's probably not going to be a good place to be able to share it with. So it's important that you submit your plans for your goals by wise counsel. That's a wise thing to do. But the last thing I'd say is this, biblical planning. And this is the part that's kind of interesting, is yes, make your plans. And yes, submit it by counsel. However, this is the believer, the faith-based entrepreneur's assurance. And it's this, is that while we're going to come up with our plans, ultimately know that God's plans will prevail. And it says in Proverbs 16:3, commit, and I'm glad this is helping, commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will be established. Commit your works to the Lord. See, if you want to have counsel at all, it's good to have a counselor. It's good to have wisdom. It's good to have teammates. It's good to have mentors. But you know what's great for the faith-based entrepreneur? We have the ultimate counselor. In fact, he's called the mighty counselor. We have the ultimate coach, don't we? We have God himself, who says in James 1:5 that if we ask of him for wisdom, he'll give it to us freely without any reproach. So why not also do we, with our plans of our dreams and our things that we want to be able to think and grow rich with, do we commit our works to the Lord? Do we ask God for wisdom? For sake of example, it's this simple. Let's say you have a goal to make X amount of income. You kind of map out your plans. You're running it around by all of your people around you. The last place or the first place I'd go to is just ask God. I'd pray. Like, God, this is what I think you want me to do. These are the plans that I think that you're leading me to, but let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And let me know, confirm this with me. I know you're going to help me with those steps, and I know that you're going to lead me into the right ways. Here's one more, Proverbs 16:9. Proverbs 16:9. It says, the mind of a person plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. So what kind of assurance is this? The reality is this. Any single time that we're putting down any plan to move towards achievement, the reality is this. If you've lived at any point, if you've tried any type of goal, who here has ever put a plan A down and that plan A did not work? Right? Put a 1 in the chat. If you've had a plan, you thought it was perfect, you thought it was amazing, you run down the road and boom, you smack with the barrier and it definitely didn't work. I've never had a plan A that worked in anything, right? Yeah, thanks for being transparent. I think that's the way that we understand things. And yeah, the hardest thing to do is doing his will instead of your own. So we have to understand that while we do plan our steps, and while we do want to take these steps of wisdom, and while we do want to ask God for wisdom and pray and submit things by him, the reality is, Hannah, the reality is, everyone, that God's going to lead the perfect plan. And it's not our job to try to perfect the plan. Do your best. But just know that when you're going towards a major goal, that as you move forward in faith, as you continue to be wise with your steps, just trust that God's going to continue to guide step by step, place by place, and that ultimately his will is going to be done. His plan is going to be fulfilled, And our job is just have that faith to be able to move forward, just trusting that God's perfect will is going to be done as you're navigating towards these goals and you're navigating towards these dreams. And I guess on a last note, this is what I'd say is I used to be super frustrated when my plan didn't work. I want to be in control. Don't you? I want to know what's going to happen before it happens. Don't you? I want to know the future. I want to be the captain of my faith, the master of my soul. But when I tried to do that, I started to get super frustrated, super depressed, super anxious, because you start to realize it's just impossible to control all those different things. But you know what's amazing is that for the faith-based entrepreneur, that if you understand that God is ultimately in control, and you understand that all we need to do is not try to control everything, all we need to do is to be able to accept that. All we need to do is be able to obey. That's our job, pray and obey. All we need to do is be wise in our end, plan as much as we can, do the best that we can, that we move forward in faith. That it's such an assurance that it doesn't matter on how good I am, really. The reality is God's miracles are going to happen through us in such a way that you can tell that it's not because of what you did, really. It's because of who he is. My biggest prayer as we go through how to think and grow rich biblically is I want to make sure that each of us that have God-sized goals and God-sized dreams, I want it to be so big. I want the miracle to be so big that when people see that we're accomplishing those, they don't say, wow, you're so good, James. And congratulations on making your jump, quitting your job and diving into your business. There we go. You know what I want? You know what I want people to say? I want people to say, wow, James, you did something incredible, but straight up, I know who you are. You're not that good. There's something different about you. And when they ask the question, what happened? What's the secret? I want to just say, it really wasn't me. It was God who was working through me. And to God be the glory. That's what I want to be able to have. For the faith-based entrepreneur, I believe that our success is a pointer, is a testimony, the greatest testimony in the world for our Creator. And if we put him first and we put his righteousness above all, then all of these other things are going to be added to us. So can you think and grow rich biblically? Can you biblically plan? Absolutely you can, and absolutely you should. But we should also understand that ultimately he has his perfect plan. He has his perfect way. And we do have a step in our end. We do have to take bold, faithful steps, but we do have to submit all of that to him as well too. All right, everyone. Well, I wonder what you think about this. If this resonated with you, comment below. We'd love to hear your feedback. Follow, share this with someone you think this can help. And also subscribe to our YouTube because we have this replay plus all the other Bible studies that we do as well too. Every Monday through Friday we come at this time, and we're going through this book right now. I also want to make one last shout out. I'm launching a book called The Miraculous Breakthrough Formula soon. And we're actually doing a Kickstarter for it to raise funds for this campaign. It's the 7-day challenge, biblically guaranteed to help you get unstuck and achieve the impossible in life. So if that sounds like something you want to look into, check out the Kickstarter. You can see how to grab a copy of the book. You can check out how to support the campaign. Shout out to everybody that's already supported to this. We have around, 16 days left on the clock for that book Kickstarter. But we're actually doing a free 7-day challenge launching January 15th. And thanks. Yeah, I appreciate you being willing to take a look at the book. Click the link in the bio. You can find the Kickstarter and everything, And God definitely doesn't want us to sit idle and wait for retirement. Did you know on this note, retirement is not a godly term? Retirement is not in the Bible, right? Like you never find that word. Retirement was actually built during the Industrial Revolution because that's when jobs came out. So it was the way for the wealthy people to be able to get people excited about getting a job. But for the believer, there is no such thing as retirement. And I don't think that's like a word in the Bible, Yeah, it's interesting. But with that said, with this book launch, and thanks, my wife just put the Kickstarter in the comments here. With this book launch, we decided to do something real cool, and I want to invite every single one of you to do this with us. January 15th, we're going to be leading a live 7-day challenge. It's free for anyone to be a part of. I'm going to walk you through the biblical principles of fasting to disconnect yourself from the world, of prayer to connect yourself with God, and Bible study to let His word to be able to transform you. I'm going to be leading a 7-day series on how to do that effectively and wisely so that you can achieve miraculous breakthroughs in your life. Because when you do things like that, my gosh, God works in such incredible, incredible ways. So if you're interested in learning about that, also be sure to take a look at my link in the bio. I have a group called Kingdom Builders. It's a free Telegram group you can be a part of. You can join that, participate in that. We have a lot of people already interested. Awesome. Yeah, be sure to follow and then take a look at my link tree in the bio. Would love for you to be a part of that. I'm also giving tutorials on how to actually prepare for that as we move on forward. But we got around 6 days on the clock, and we're going to launch that real soon. All right, everyone. Hey, on that, thanks so much for tuning in once again. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to be back again. On that, have a blessed day, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.